Hey folks, this is Bastin Slot with a hopefully fully working PC. I am keeping a eagle eye on the temperature of my CPU in just incredible levels of paranoia. But for now, it appears to be working, so we can check out something we missed just from yesterday, just from the other day. This is Dev Diary October 2024 for Prehistoric Kingdom, including the reveal of a brand new species coming just next month. Let's take a look. But before we do that, you all got Uno reversed by the devs. So, if you've been following the Trello, which is like an update map for Prehistoric Kingdom, you'll have seen that they've been working on Update 13 and Update 14. Now, Update 13 is a big boy, as it happens. So Update 13 is being pushed to next year, and what was going to be in Update 14 is instead coming in what will now be called Update 13. Does that make sense? And that's going to come in mid-December. Now, Update 14, it was Update 13, now it's called Update 14, is all about animal socialization. That's why it's such a big update, and it's got to focus on the following systems, kind of prepping for the ontogeny system being added down the line. We're going to get socialization and communication amongst our creatures, the ability to form herds and groups that follow a leader, smoothing out of locomotion, the jittering and snappy behavior. You may have seen a little bit of it the other day. Polish the foot IKs. IKs are inverse kinematics, and I've explained these a few times on the channel, but for those who missed it, it basically means rather than animating, say you're animating a leg, you don't animate the leg from the top. What you do is you kind of see where the foot is going on the ground, and you reverse the animation from the foot upwards rather than from the leg downwards. And it should, in theory, make for much more realistic locomotion. Either way, it's going to get polished a little bit more, limbs are going to break less, and footstep sounds are going to be triggered consistently. So just all in all, the animals are going to behave and move a little bit more realistically. So as I say, this is now going to be Update 14. It was listed as Update 13, it's now Update 14. The next update, releasing in mid-December, is the next update. That's called Update 13, but it was Update 14. You with me? You get me. It's fine, you've got this. So, what is coming in that next brand new update? Well, I'll tell you, it's bears, bears, bears! It's a bear. Ursus spelaeus, the cave bear, the renowned prehistoric cave bear. This beautiful, beautiful fluffy creature is being added to the games. A brand new mammal for our collections, really exciting stuff. And look, it's very cute. We can't get past this. That's what it is. It's adorable. If not friend, why friend shaped? All that meme cliche nonsense right there. It's a really beautifully modelled bear. In particular, you can see that the cave bear here has really raised haunches there at the front, the kind of the shoulder bone there, and the muscle around that is high up, it's pronounced, and it gives it this kind of humpback, this forward humpback kind of shaped. The ears are heartbreaking, as bear ears always are. The fur shader in this game is incredible, so I'm really excited to see how this plays out with, again, another fully furred animal. You can see it kind of dropping in sort of waves there around the chest and midriff sort of area. We've got a couple more photos actually, let's take a look. We can see one of them here in game. I think this is a different skin, it's hard to tell for sure. It's definitely, it's got less dramatic lighting, so it might be a darker version of the same skin. I'm gonna go with that. I think it's a darker version of the same skin, so we can see how it's gonna look in game. And I think it's gonna be a fan favorite animal, to say the least. There's not too much to say about the bear. I think it's really nicely modelled, but there is a skin I want to show you. We've got one more photo. The bear has bear behaviours, of course. That is a bear necessity, and it stands up on its legs like so, and there's something, this skin in particular makes it look like a dog to me. There's a particular dog I'm thinking of that I cannot quite remember what the breed is, but that picture on the left in particular where we're zoomed in, that just looks like a dog. A giant, slightly bear-esque dog, and it's adorable. I really, really like the skin, that darker colour counter-shaded there, that little blush of brown just around the cheek, and you can see a little bit of striping there above the eyebrows as well. You can see a little detail there in the mouth, because this is actually a primarily herbivorous bear. See, it doesn't have much in the way of canines. It's got 4 sharp canine knuckle teeth there at the front in the middle, but the rest of the teeth are flatter. They're more designed for breaking down vegetation. Either way, it's a really interesting animal. It's beautiful. It does gigantic paws as well. Even though it's a herbivorous bear, it's still more than capable of defending itself and fighting back. It is worth noting though, we are getting 2 new mammals, as I say, in the next update. So it's a cave bear and it's something else. We don't know what it is yet. but there's a secret mammal on the way mid-December, and I'm sure we'll find out maybe in the next devlog at the start of December. We're getting these very cool new hyper-stylized, painted, slightly cartoony, hypo-realistic, I don't know what you'd want to call it, but these very, very cool stylized designs, stylized signs for the game. So you can see Triceratops, Psittacosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Dilophosaurus popping up at the bottom there, looking adorable. These look really, really cool. They're beautifully painted. They feel very appropriate for a sort of zoo environment. Definitely want more of this kind of stuff. The only problem with this kind of stuff is I think we're getting about 12 of these, something like that, of like the most popular animals. And I'm going to want them for every animal in the game, rather inevitably. They are very, very cool. That Brachiosaurus, I think, in particular, looks fantastic. And that Dilophosaurus is so heartbreakingly cute. And there's also a Mammuthus, as you can see right there as well. The happiest little Mammuthus you ever did see. So, now, that was all me nonsense. The next bit, it's getting into the slightly more nitty-gritty of the game. So this is a new content that was coming. You know, we've seen the signs, we've seen the bear, but the UI and the toolbox and the building system is all being updated again, as we will talk about. So let's go through this. This was all scripted. Building tools and UI are being updated, streamlined. We're not going to have less control, but the hope is it's going to be better presented. The toolbox has been reorganized, so this is how it's going to play out going forward. In this, worth noting, this is still a concept art version of the system. So as you can see, you've got that infinity symbol there, you've got like an all category. You could scroll down and see absolutely everything, but if you just want to click this and get quickly to your animal care and guest facilities and stuff like that, it's right there at the top of all. Now as you can see, you can click a couple buttons along and that will split over into guest facilities specifically. So if you know that's what you're looking for, you click that, you go into guest facilities. And not only does it show you just guest facilities, but it also splits them into further subcategories like amenities and education, as you can see, to help you narrow down what you're searching for. Those subcategories are listed, as you can see, at the bottom of the toolbox, and by clicking on one of those buttons, we can isolate those categories and see only exactly those items. So you can go from all to guest facilities to education very specifically, and kind of get a little bit more granular in how you look for things in the toolbox, which makes sense because they keep adding more and more stuff. We need ways to categorize and define. Not really much to say on this one. It's a nice system, not too different than what goes on, but it's just a little bit neater. Now I do suspect this is a coincidence, but the prefab system is also changing to match that of the very new Planet Coaster 2. In that prefabs and items are going to be separated, basically. If you've got a ton of prefabs, you'll know how difficult it can be to find what it is you want. As it is, your prefabs are clustered at the bottom of your items and can be very tedious to find. You can't categorize them properly, etc, etc. So going forward, the system is going to be a little different. I've got a demonstration for you. Let's say you want a lemon in your park because lemons are the best. Now you've got a custom prefab lemon. It's green, it's not a lime, shut up. The problem though is that you also have tons of default lemons in your park because again, lemons are the best, except the weird squid one in the bottom left, that freaks me out. The PK devs have added thousands of lemons to the game because they love them just as much as I do. Do you see the issue? You can't see your green lemon because it's all the way at the bottom. What a pain. Life is meaningless. But now, thanks to this magical Show Prefabs button, you're going to eliminate the noise and be left with nothing but your beautiful custom prefab creation. Revel in its beauty and cower, for it has come to conquer us all. Anyway, the point is the system is going to make it a lot easier to group prefabs together in appropriate places, as long as there's a good hotkey to swap between the two. As an aside, Prehistoric Kingdom does need to put the hotkeys on the hover text for each button, like every other game on the planet. It drove me a little mad the other day, it really did. Grrr. Now beyond all the nonsense that I did sit down and script, there's some nice UI changes coming here. You've selected your item, it's a lemon obviously, for placement, and rather than clogging the middle of the screen with all the other items you're not currently using, the toolbox is going to disappear, as you can see, and a modular control panel pops up at the side, giving you all the usual options, as well as a lovely full screen view of what you're trying to build. These are contextual panels, depending on the item you selected, and as a bonus you can keep the modular item toolbox on screen while you build if you want, just by tapping that little pin icon in the center there. I'm assuming that if you're going to place something and then you right click to not place it, the toolbox would appear again. I personally will probably pin it because I like to scroll through and see everything and just try out a million things, and I think it'll be a little bit smoother to keep it there for that. But let's say you're doing a section where you're just putting lots of grass down or lots of rocks and you want that full freedom of view. This is a really good time to use that system. This same system is being brought over to paths and fences as well. I feel like I said that very strangely. Contextual pop-up menus giving you all the most pertinent options for what you're currently doing. It'd be nice if we could move it ourselves if we wanted to. Maybe the option to drag and drop these context menus and pin them somewhere on the screen so they always appear in the same place. It's kind of like, I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft and you'd have like a little tooltip that would appear when you hovered over an enemy or something. And you'd use a mod to place that where you want. And some people love their tooltip smack bang in the middle. And some people, like myself, a little bit further off to the side, and some people just want to get rid of them as much as humanly possible. It'd be a nice little bit of control. I'm not saying it's a big deal, I'm just trying to think of little things as I go through that I think could potentially be a thing. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. So a good preview there of the next update, update 13. I'm sure there's more to come, and there's definitely more we're going to see in the coming weeks and days, but it is a quick turnaround. It's going to be 6 weeks until the next update. So that's 2 new mammal species in just 6 weeks time, 6 to 7 weeks. It's mid-December. And UI changes and building changes and toolbox changes, blah blah, those fantastic stylized signs as well as a preview of what's to come in update 14, formerly known as update 13. That's it from me. Fingers crossed this bloody video has worked. This week has been a nightmare, but now I can hide my face away again. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you lovely folks very soon. Cheers much love as always. Bye bye.
Road.